What'd you think, hon?
I'm gonna try it out.
That right there is the moment that my son saw his brand new bed. My son has no idea that I decided to build this bed for him. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. If you notice his room, it's not as big. When I built the house, I should have made the rooms bigger. So I want to give him something that gets him off the ground and gives him more floor space to play in his room. For this project, I didn't want anything basic. I wanted to go the full length of his room, even though the bed doesn't fill up the whole loft. But I figured, why not just take up the whole room? And I want to do a full staircase and lights and everything. The staircase will be 6 total steps, one of which is on an angle at the top, but 5 of the steps will have a 24-inch drawer in each one for storage. Due to the hallway that leads to his room, I had to build the staircase in 2 pieces. That way it could be disassembled, taken apart, and fit through the door into his room. As with most of my projects, I knew what I wanted in my head, but not really the best planner, and that ends up in moments like this. The bed has to be built to not only hold my children, but to hold our entire family. We tuck them in at night, so we're going to be climbing into this bed. I made the corner post out of 4 pieces of maple that I end up laminating together, and then I will notch out a slot for a 8/4 10-inch maple beam to support the entire front of the bed. For the steps, I want a little bit of contrast, so I'm going to use oak on those treads. When I try this out, in a way, I kind of would like for it to break because I would have it on film and I might go viral. Full disclosure, I did my math wrong and I ended up not having enough steps to get to the top. So what I end up having to do is I make a flat platform and then I'm going to come back and make a step on a 45. Once I was completed, I was actually glad it worked out that way, but you'll have to wait to see that. One thing that makes this project a little extra hard is the mixture of oak and painted pieces. So I have to be mindful of that when I'm putting it together. I place a few pieces of paper here to kind of mimic the few coats of lacquer that I'm gonna put on that step. You don't want to not allow for that because when you go to do final assembly, it won't fit together. After the glue's dried, I run these posts through my joiner and through my planer to make sure I have a perfectly square post. As I stated earlier, this piece of maple that is going to support the front side of the bed is an absolute chunk. I really thought that I could rip this with my table saw, but as you see, it failed miserably. In place of the table saw, I just got my track saw out and just made numerous passes until I got all the way through the beam, and it ended up working out pretty well. Got to show off my Blacktail Studios Damascus marking knife that my parents got me for Christmas. This thing, quite honestly, I don't need it, but it's pretty sweet. The supporting rails on each end of the bed, I want them to be embedded in these posts. So I actually clamp the 2 posts together so that I can have identical notches in each one of them. I want you to pay real close attention right about here. Oh yeah. There's a lot of other ways to do this, some of which are even better than what I'm doing here. But I already have my track saw out, and so this is just what I chose. Make fun of me, it's okay. At this point, I start assembling the bed. I really need to get this thing put together so that I can start adding the railing and the things like that. But I really don't know how to do that unless I just put the thing together. Now, this is a project that I really would love to have a helper on, but I don't have that. So figuring it all out by myself can get a little bit complicated.
Good thing I have a helmet on.
Using a router with a plunge bit, I create some massive notches in the post for the beams to sit in. At the end, I use some scrap pieces of wood and a flush bit to make these notches as accurate as possible. This is the part where I wish I had some help. So I had to get creative here. A lot of videotape deleted at this part. Some things were a little embarrassing. And I ended up making the notches a little too tight, so I just had to beat and frame until I was able to get them in. The beam was slightly twisted, so I rigged up this clamp and put some weight on it, and then I just hit my head. As you can tell, I was pretty mad. Luckily, right after, I really needed to hit this beam a lot, so that helped me out. This back piece here will actually be screwed to the wall, but I made some corner brackets to hold it in place so that I could finish the assembly of the bed. My goal for the bed was I wanted the bottom that holds the mattress to be oak, whereas the frame is going to be painted. So I created these little rails that I'm going to glue to the frame. There'll be some supporting pieces of oak that help hold the seams of the plywood. And when I'm done, I really think it is going to look sharp. When I get ready to cut the floor, my kids come out and they start asking questions. And so I tell them that I am making this for a customer who has a 4-year-old little girl, and they just think it is the coolest bed ever, and they have no idea that it's going in our house.
Can I step here?
Yep.
Come on, Hudson. This is it. Yay! It's so big! No, it isn't the right size.
Sadie,
Yes?
step on it.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can we get on it now? Yeah! Awesome! This is beautiful.
As you can see, Hudson wears a helmet. So I'm going to make some railing. The last thing I need is for him to fall out of this bed and hurt himself, which is most likely going to happen anyway. I did attach the railing using pocket screws, which I don't really prefer normally for something that's going to be a finished look, but you can use a wooden dowel and some putty and you could make it to where nobody can even tell how you attach the rails. Next up, I put a face frame on the stairs. I'm gonna have 5 drawers in here that'll be 23 by 24. It's gonna create some incredible storage. I failed to mention that underneath this bed, I am going to put a solid white oak desk, and I'm making it out of some leftover 8-quarter oak that I had from another project. One of the hardest parts for me on this project was the fact that I wanted to put in a lot of lighting, but I also want to hide the wires. This adds a level of complexity to a project because you really have to plan ahead on where you're going to run the wires, how you're going to get them to where they need to go, but most importantly, make it to where no one sees them. I ended up building essentially just these fake walls that left a gap in between. And I actually am glad I did it because I made the backdrop of the desk white oak, which ended up being a really nice touch. This is where I disassemble and start prepping for paint. And I always get nervous here because this is literally the last time I'm going to see this bed put together before it actually goes in the house. And that is very nerve-wracking. Because of the size of my shop, I decided to go ahead and spray everything that needed to be clear. I'm applying a clear lacquer sealer. I did 2 coats of this, and then I did 2 coats of a final lacquer in medium rub. For the other parts that I'm painting green, this is actually a Rust-Oleum spray paint match that we used on some other pieces in his room. I did 2 coats of the green, followed by 1 good coat of clear to help protect the bed. This is where things start getting a little crazy. I thought this install was going to be fairly easy. The kids went to stay at my parents' house, so I had 2 full days to get this done, and we were going to surprise him. And I'll be honest with you, this was just hard. It was tedious, it was laborious, and I ended up not filming a whole bunch of this install just because I was on a time crunch. And I painted the room, I put up batten strips, so it was just a lot of work. And when the final reveal came, his reaction was fantastic, but overall, I wasn't even done yet. So I still had to finish the bed, I had to put lights in, but it was worth every second. As you can see, I had to remove a lot of molding because I wanted this to be installed like a set of cabinets. I took everything off, I mounted it against the wall, and I come back, caulk it all in, and put the molding back. Not only did I not film a lot, I also lost some film during the upload process. I'm not real sure how, but you can see here, I've got the batten strips up. They took me quite a while. Now I'm painting, which I absolutely hate. Mid-afternoon, trying to finish this project. My son's coming home in a few hours, and I lose the spring in my sprayer. I have to go to Harbor Freight and buy a cheap air gun just to finish the pieces on here, which was a waste of time. I ended up not getting them installed in time.
Surprise!
What'd you think, hon?
I'm gonna try it out. Surprise!
What'd you think, hon?
I'm gonna try it out.
Hey Hudson, the wall is wet still, okay? So don't touch the wall up top, okay? Go.
What do you think, hon? Don't touch the wall.
See how shiny it is? What do you think?
Watch your head. You can go there. You can go there.
Man, he loved it. And he had some friends over to celebrate with him. We had a good time. The next day, we had to finish some things up. Told the kids they could help me. Got to install the desk. I got to install lighting. Got to put on the drawer fronts and just finish this thing up. Overall, this thing turned out sick. I got it finished up. My son is absolutely pumped. My daughter is sleeping with him every night just because she loves it as well. I am so pleased with this project. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.